The Green Bay Packers are on the brink of transformation, and the changes made to the roster this offseason have sent ripples through the fan base. What does it all mean for the upcoming season? How will these strategic moves impact the team's performance? As we dive into the details, I want to hear from you, Packers fans. Comment below on where you're watching from and what you think about these roster changes. This year, the Packers front office has not been shy about shaking things up. They've moved on from several key players of yesteryears, making tough decisions that signify a clear shift in their vision for the team. The cornerback situation from last season was untenable, and it's commendable that the organization has owned up to that miscalculation. The release of Nate Hobbs was a necessary step, and in his place, they've brought in Benjamin St. Just from free agency. While this may come across as a less expensive move compared to Hobbs, it's clear that the focus is on depth and competition. The draft saw the Packers selecting not one, but two cornerbacks in Brandon Cisse and Domani Jackson. Cisse, taken in the second round, has the potential to make an immediate impact, while Jackson, a sixth-round pick, is viewed more as a developmental project. This suggests a shift towards long-term planning, a strategy that could pay dividends down the line. The real question, though, is how quickly these young players can acclimate to the NFL level. The Packers might still need time to figure out their cornerback depth chart, but at least the seeds for future growth have been planted. Yet, the cornerback overhaul isn't the only storyline. The defensive unit as a whole has received attention, especially following the departure of defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. Enter Jonathan Gannon, who's now tasked with leading a group that clearly needed reinforcements. The front office's message is loud and clear. They recognize the need for improvement. In fact, 4 out of their 6 draft picks went towards bolstering the defense. The selection of Chris McClellan and Danny Dennis-Sutton alongside Cisse and Jackson showcases a dedication to building a formidable defensive line. Free agency also reflected this commitment. The 2 biggest signings, Javon Hargrave and St. Just, were on the defensive side of the ball, and the trade for linebacker Zaire Franklin further emphasizes the Packers' intent to fortify their defense. When we contrast these moves against their offensive additions, Sky Moore and Tyrod Taylor, it's evident where the priorities lie. The Packers are signaling a shift in focus, and fans should take note. Speaking of shifts, the wide receiver core has undergone its own transformation. The decision to let Romeo Dewak and trade away Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles may raise some eyebrows, but it speaks to an underlying strategy. The Packers seem determined to empower their most talented receivers. The arrivals of Sky Moore and development-focused players like Brendan Rice and undrafted rookie Michael Sturdivant are aimed at creating opportunities for the likes of Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden. The goal here is clear: fewer rotations and more consistency in targets. This is a critical juncture for the Packers as they look to harness the potential of their emerging stars. The days of hyper-specific game plans may be numbered, giving way to a more streamlined approach that allows their top players to shine. The question remains, are these changes enough to elevate the team to new heights? The foundation is being laid, but the execution will ultimately determine the outcome. As we continue our analysis of this offseason's significant moves, keep your eyes peeled for how these decisions unfold on the field. The Packers are making bold choices, and it's a narrative that's only just beginning to take shape. Let's dive into the next phase of this offseason story.
The Green Bay Packers are making waves with the emergence of rookie interior offensive lineman Jaeger Burton, and the excitement surrounding him is palpable. As the team looks to solidify its offensive line amidst significant offseason changes, Burton's performance has caught the attention of analysts and fans alike. So, where are you watching from? And what do you think of Burton's potential impact this season? Comment below to let us know. The Packers made a strategic decision this offseason, clearly prioritizing defensive investments. Out of their 6 draft selections, only 1 player was on the offensive side: Jaeger Burton, a 5th-round pick, leading many to wonder about the team's offensive line depth going into the season. However, early indications suggest that this might turn out to be a stroke of genius. Sports Illustrated's Justin Mello noted that Burton is among the rookies who are suddenly impossible to ignore during the offseason programs, a testament to his rapid development and potential. Initially, the expectation surrounding Burton was that he would serve as a backup center, potentially waiting in the wings to replace Sean Ryan. But the coaching staff seems to have other plans, as they've been giving Burton significant opportunities at both guard positions. He started at right guard when the team decided to cross-train Anthony Belton at right tackle, and has also seen action at left guard during the mandatory minicamp, filling in for Aaron Banks. This flexibility hints at his versatility, a quality that could be invaluable for the Packers moving forward. It's worth noting that under head coach Matt LaFleur, the Packers have not been known for handing out starting positions lightly, especially along the offensive line. The coaching staff has historically leaned towards seasoned players, often opting for experience over potential. This makes Burton's ascent to the first-team offense all the more impressive. His ability to compete for a starting role so early in his career speaks volumes about his talent and work ethic. As LaFleur himself stated, "I think every practice he gets a little more comfortable. He's definitely going to be in the mix for playing time." This is high praise, especially considering how selective the Packers have been in their offensive line decisions. The timing of adding a solid offensive lineman like Burton couldn't be more opportune. With the losses of Rashid Walker and Elgton Jenkins this offseason, the depth of the offensive line is under scrutiny. If Burton can continue to develop and contribute as a reliable option, the Packers will have struck gold once again with a day 3 pick. The franchise has a rich history of transforming late-round selections into key contributors on the offensive line, and the early signs suggest that Burton may be the next success story. While it's still early days and plenty of football remains ahead, the buzz around Jaeger Burton is undeniable. The Packers are clearly impressed with what they've seen thus far, and as the offseason progresses, it will be intriguing to see how he continues to carve out his niche on this team. Now, let's shift gears and look at how these developments might impact the broader outlook for the Packers this season. Stay tuned for more insights as we dive into the final segment of our coverage on the Green Bay Packers minicamp. Fans, where are you watching from? We want to hear your thoughts on the upcoming season and how you feel about the team's roster moves. Make sure to leave your opinions in the comments below. The Packers have just completed a pivotal 3-day minicamp, which was crucial in setting the tone for the 2026 NFL season. For the first time in recent years, they practiced in full cadence, signaling that they are all in for the upcoming campaign. With the returns of edge Micah Parsons and T.E. Tucker Kraft on the horizon, the excitement is palpable. Head coach Matt LaFleur confirmed that this would be the last mandatory minicamp for the team, and moving forward, only rookies will be appearing on the practice field next week. Fans and analysts alike got an invaluable glimpse of the starters, rookies eager to make an immediate impact, and potential breakout players during these 3 days. However, the reality of the NFL is that with a roster currently holding 90 players, cuts are inevitable. As the Packers evaluate talent over the next 2 weeks, they will have some tough decisions to make. Notably, they selected cornerback Brandon Cisse with their first pick in the draft, adding strength to a defense that also welcomed DT Chris McClellan and Penn State edge Danny Dennis-Sutton. This strategy points to an organization that recognizes the importance of building depth and competition. That depth is certainly going to fuel some heated positional battles. And with that comes the harsh reality that some players will find themselves on the chopping block. Third-year corner Kamal Hadden and sophomore quarterback Kyle McCord are 2 names that could be in danger following the minicamp. Hadden, drafted in the 6th round in 2024, spent his rookie year on the practice squad. Though he made the active roster in 2025, injuries have significantly hampered his development. After suffering a season-ending ankle injury against the Ravens, his absence during minicamp raises questions about his place in a crowded secondary that now features Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and the newly drafted Cisse. The competition is fierce, and while Hadden has been given opportunities in the past, the Packers need to assess if he can bounce back from this injury and contribute effectively. The cornerback position will undoubtedly be under scrutiny as the season approaches, and with the addition of Chargers DB Benjamin St-Juste and Alabama's Domani Jackson, the stakes are high. On the offensive side, the Packers faced a significant loss with the departure of Malik Willis, who signed a lucrative 3-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. While fans can celebrate Willis's ascent, the Packers are left scrambling to fill the void behind franchise quarterback Jordan Love. In response, the team has signed McCord, who spent his rookie year on the Eagles practice squad, and undrafted free agent Kieran Drones from Virginia Tech notably. They also added veteran QB Tyrod Taylor from the Jets, a move that brings leadership and experience to the locker room. This development creates an interesting dynamic as the Packers likely aim to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster. The competition between McCord and Drones for the final spot could be fierce. McCord has the edge with his proven passing ability, complementing what Love and Taylor bring to the team. However, Drones, with his athleticism and potential for versatility, could be the wild card in this equation. His familiarity with Tyrod Taylor from their time at Virginia Tech could facilitate his growth, making him a valuable asset. What's more, Drones has been mentioned as a candidate for various roles, potentially even in a wildcat formation, showcasing the coaching staff's willingness to innovate. In this quarterback battle, it's hard not to lean slightly toward Drones, which could put McCord's spot in jeopardy. As we wrap up this segment, it's clear that the Packers are making strategic moves to bolster their roster in preparation for the upcoming season. They're facing tough decisions ahead, and the next couple of weeks will be crucial in determining who stays and who goes. Packers fans, your voice matters. Let us know your thoughts on these developments, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates. Together, let's stand behind our team as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season ahead.